Caitlin Clark, did you turn down $15 million? Oh, that's a boss move.
Confirmation from the people that want to pay the money. Sponsors. Oh man, Angel Reese fans are gonna be pissed.
Hold on tight, WNBA fans, because things are about to get wild. Caitlin Clark, the brightest star in women's basketball, has completely reshaped the league's landscape. After dominating the court and becoming a household name, she's now at the center of an unfolding drama that has left everyone questioning the future of the WNBA. Enter Angel Reese, once seen as a future superstar, now exposed as a player who can't keep up with the demands of the league. So, how did we get here? How did Angel Reese, who was once poised to be the face of women's basketball, find herself playing second fiddle to a player who's completely redefining what it means to be a star in the sport? The truth is, it's a mix of poor decisions, missed opportunities, and a reality check that has upended everything. The balance of power is shifting, and it's Caitlin Clark who's leading the charge. But what does this mean for Angel Reese, the player who was supposed to rule the WNBA? Let's break down how the rise of Caitlin Clark is shattering all illusions about Reese's potential, and how this shakeup could change the course of the WNBA's future.
Said that there will be no deal put in front of Angel Reese anytime soon.
It looked like she took the city over.
Sorry, Angel Reese, the $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark. Oh, fuck. It's about to get ugly.
Let's take a step back and look at Angel Reese's meteoric rise. Once the darling of college basketball, the Bayou Barbie had everything going for her. She was the social media sensation. Her style, her presence, her personality, it was all part of a package that captured the world's attention. Brands like Reebok jumped at the chance to sign her, plastering her face on every campaign. For a moment, it seemed like the WNBA's future was in her hands. She had the charisma, the looks, and the viral moments that made her one of the most marketable athletes in the game. But, as we all know, hype alone isn't enough to sustain greatness. By 2025, that glamour started to fade. The brand deals began to dry up. The crowds at her games thinned out. The excitement she once sparked was starting to feel like a distant memory. And what did she have to show for it? A brand that wasn't backed by consistent performances on the court. Fans, once eagerly anticipating her next big move, started asking themselves, where was the payoff?
There's a lot of money, unrivaled. If y'all think y'all gonna get Caitlin Clark over there for chump change and a little bit of equity, you have another thing coming. This woman turned down $15 million, so you best believe she will turn down your offer if it's not right as well.
Didn't tell us the same thing about Angel Reese.
Then, something happened that no one saw coming. Caitlin Clark, a player with a quieter, more determined approach, started taking over the game in ways no one could have predicted. She wasn't just a flash in the pan, she was a force of nature. By 2025, Clark had already secured a legacy in the making. She wasn't just winning games, she was breaking records, creating viral moments, and setting new standards for what it meant to be a star in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark wasn't just the next big thing, she was the now. Her performances were on another level, and the league had no choice but to recognize her. While Angel Reese was still struggling to find her rhythm, Clark was rewriting the history books. She wasn't just playing basketball, she was changing the entire narrative around women's sports.
This is insane. Caitlin Clark, the Big Three reportedly offered Caitlin Clark $15 million for 10 games.
But here's where things took a turn. Enter Ice Cube, the mastermind behind the Big Three League, and a man who knows how to build a brand. When he stepped up to the cameras and dropped a bombshell, it changed everything. He made it crystal clear, the $5 million offer on the table wasn't for Angel Reese, it was for Caitlin Clark. The true truth. Reese, who had built an empire around her flash and charisma, was no longer the one sponsors wanted. Clark was the clear choice, the one who brought in views, sold jerseys, and had the marketability that Reese simply couldn't match. Ice Cube's words were a cold dose of reality for Reese and her camp. This wasn't personal, it was business. And when it comes to business, Caitlin Clark was the one delivering the return on investment.
Clark with the new Stanley Cup deal. It's amazing. I gotta go get my cup. I gotta get my t-shirt and my Stanley Cup. You already know.
Let's break down the financials of this massive showdown between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Ice Cube's jaw-dropping offer to Clark, $15 million for just 10 games, wasn't just some wild bet. It was a calculated business move. Let that sink in. $1.5 million per game. This wasn't a gamble, it was a guaranteed payout. The big three knew what they were getting with Clark: ticket sales, streaming deals, sponsorships, and all the global buzz she brings with her. It wasn't just about basketball, it was about business, and Caitlin Clark was the surest bet. Now, contrast that with Angel Reese. Despite her viral TikToks, catchy slogans, and an image built on the glamour of the Bayou Barbie, her actual market value didn't match up. In fact, Reese didn't even make the first page of the pitch deck that Ice Cube and his team put together for the Big Three. Why? Because her brand, while loud and attention-grabbing, wasn't backed by tangible on-court results. Sure, she had moments of brilliance, but when it came down to it, her performance didn't provide the return on investment that sponsors were looking for. And let's talk about merchandise. Caitlin Clark's jerseys were flying off the shelves, one of the top-selling jerseys across the entire WNBA. And when Clark's jerseys sold out, they were being reordered at breakneck speed. Reese's merchandise, on the other hand, barely made a dent. No buzz, no excitement, no sellouts. In the world of sports marketing, these are the kinds of numbers that determine whether a player gets multi-million-dollar sponsorships or gets left behind. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a player, she was an industry force. And unfortunately for Reese, her brand couldn't compete. Let's fast forward to the 2025 All-Star Weekend in Chicago, an event that was supposed to be Angel Reese's shining moment. With all eyes on her, the Bayou Barbie was expected to dominate the media, the fans, and the spotlight. But then, Caitlin Clark showed up. Clark, sidelined with an injury, wasn't even playing, but that didn't stop her from taking over the weekend. Fans flooded the streets, chanting her name, screaming for the chance to catch a glimpse of her. And what was Reese doing? Smiling for the cameras, posing for PR shots. But in the eyes of the fans and the media, she wasn't the story. Not even close. It wasn't just a missed opportunity for Reese, it was a full-on identity crisis. Clark wasn't just another player, she was a global icon. Her presence was undeniable, even without stepping onto the court. Meanwhile, Reese's carefully curated image was left standing in the shadow of Clark's legacy in the making. This wasn't just about basketball anymore, it was about a movement. Caitlin Clark was capturing the hearts and minds of fans across the globe, and Angel Reese was stuck chasing her tail. What this moment really highlighted was the difference between branding and authenticity. Reese had the branding, the flashy moments, the viral TikToks, and the fashion that made her a social media sensation. But Caitlin Clark, she had the authenticity, the consistency, the on-court dominance, and a story that fans could rally behind. The world didn't just want to see someone dressed up in a brand, they wanted to see someone who was rewriting the future of basketball. And in that moment, Clark was the real deal, authentic, powerful, and on top of her game. By the time 2025 rolled around, the cracks in Angel Reese's empire were starting to show. For years, she had built her brand on the power of social media moments, catchy slogans, and an image that resonated with fans. She was a star, no doubt, but when the cameras stopped rolling and the real games began, she struggled to back up her hype with results. Her performance on the court became a bigger and bigger question mark. Shooting percentages that barely hit 33% from the field? That's not good enough for a player who's supposed to be leading a franchise. And then there was the inconsistency. One night, Reese would look like a superstar, grabbing rebounds, bringing energy to the court. The next, she would be absent, disappearing when her team needed her most. Fans started to question whether Reese's game matched her image. The hype that had once seemed so limitless was slowly becoming a joke. And it didn't help that her performances weren't translating into the kind of marketability sponsors wanted. The commercials that once looked like surefire hits started to fall flat. Projects and endorsements stalled. Brands that had once rushed to sign her were now quietly pulling out. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was busy rewriting history. Every game she played was an event, drawing massive viewership and sponsorships. Every time she stepped onto the court, fans tuned in. Her jersey, a top seller. Her presence, unmatched. While Reese was scrambling to hold onto a fading brand, Clark was building an empire, cementing her place as the face of the WNBA. The comparison was impossible to ignore. Reese was stuck trying to catch up, while Clark was already on a level no one else could reach. So, what does this all mean for Angel Reese and the future of the WNBA? The truth is, it's still uncertain, but the reality is harsh. Angel Reese still has undeniable talent. She's a fantastic rebounder and an emotional leader on the court. But talent alone doesn't cut it in today's competitive landscape. The question isn't whether she can still be a star, it's whether she can evolve into a player who leads by example, not by controversy. She needs to find consistency and refine her game, and most importantly, she needs to show that her hype can translate translate into results on the court. Without that, she risks becoming a player known more for her antics than her basketball skills.
As for Caitlin Clark,
The future of the WNBA is firmly in her hands. She's more than just a player, she's a global phenomenon, a true icon. The WNBA has found its face, and Caitlin Clark is not only filling that role, she's expanding it. She's rewriting what it means to be an athlete in the modern world, and the league has no choice but to follow her lead. So, where does this leave Angel Reese? If she's willing to grow, to mature, and to step up her game, she could still turn things around. But time is running out. If the Chicago Sky can't find a way to unlock her full potential, it's possible that another team might take a chance on her.
after all, talent likers doesn't disappear.
But for now, the league has made it clear, Caitlin Clark is the future.
Angel Reese.
She's fighting to remain relevant in a world that's already moved on. In the end, the question that remains is simple. Will Angel Reese rise to the occasion, or will Caitlin Clark's rise mark the end of an era for Reese in the WNBA? The answer lies in Reese's ability to evolve, not just as a player, but as a leader. If she doesn't, the future might look very different for her. One thing is clear, Caitlin Clark isn't just the face of the WNBA, she's the future. And Angel Reese is left playing catch-up.